as Canadian theatre artists, I think, at least I do, and I think a lot of Canadian directors do, we think so much about cohesion. So cohesion in acting style, performance style, in all the elements of design, trying to like channel this into this one vision. And I was like really kind of quite surprised and confused and excited by the theater I was seeing in Berlin that didn't feel like that was happening, that felt like there was a lot of different ideas all together. And so this play, I think, is still like, has that, my aesthetic or that my Canadian impulse of cohesion, right? The sound and the lights and the projections and the set and the costumes are all working together. And I wonder, I think that that is like maybe me, but it's also like my experience here as a Canadian artist.
There is a general preoccupation about audience in North American theaters and in Toronto theaters, and I'd say for two reasons. One is because theaters are far more financially dependent on audiences than they are in Europe, just because of the system of subsidies and or lack thereof. And because the language is maybe a bit strong, but because theater is still an illegitimate art in this city at least, and in English Canada. Large-scale entertainment is not illegitimate. What happens in, you know, at the Princess of Wales or the Royal Alex or the Cannon Theatre is part of a collective culture, but art theatre has never found a legitimate place in Toronto. In fact, the art theaters, they're all very small. They are all, without exception, other buildings that have been transformed into theaters: bakeries, churches, warehouses, distilleries, gas factories, but there's not a single purpose-built small theater. And the one purpose-built small theater that is about to open has been designed in order to be able to transform into a place for marriage ceremonies and wedding receptions. So we are, as in order to have a sustainable economy. So we are a city that is scared of theater or has never placed theater in as a legitimate part of the larger social cultural discourse. And because of that, it's a fragile industry. And because it's a fragile industry, there's much greater sense also of, I need my audience in order to have some legitimacy. I need to be liked. Canadians in general need to be liked, but in the theater it's all that much worse, because I need to, the only people who are going to give me a sense of legitimacy are those 100 people coming to see my play.
And I think it's very hard because you got only 3 weeks. And you
Yes.
play it en suite, and in Germany it's like you play it once a month.
Right.
And then you got the critics, and then they wait 2 weeks, and then you can build up an audience over half a
Right,
year.
and so things mature in a
more.
very different way.
And I had one play in Munich, and it was on for 4 years.
Right.
And then they finally took it out and said, yeah, the second half of the third year was a bit. It went on. That's interesting, but they played it for 4 years.
We say the second half of the third week.